In the book Flowers for Algernon by Daniel Keyes, there is a boy named Charlie Gordon. Charlie has a mental disability, and he decides that he wants to have a surgery that is going to make him more intelligent. There is a woman named Miss Kinnian. She is Charlie's teacher, and she talks to Dr. Strauss and Professor Newmer and tells them that Charlie is a very hard and dedicated worker and would be the perfect fit for this surgery. After Charlie's surgery, once he wakes up, he doesn't feel any different. And then he is told that he has to start keeping progress reports. As time goes by, he slowly realizes that it is working and he's starting to comprehend things that he has been learning. And as time goes on, he starts to learn faster and faster. At Mr. Donner's bakery, Charlie is made fun of a lot by the other coworkers. He doesn't realize it and thinks that they are his very close friends, even though they are teasing him for what he is doing. Until one day he shows them wrong, and he is able to run the mixer even better than the actual worker, which makes everyone very amazed, and they start to respect Charlie more until Charlie finds out that Gimpy is stealing from Mr. Donner's bakery, and he threatens to tell Mr. Donner. And then that next day, when Charlie goes back to the bakery, Mr. Donner tells Charlie that he is fired because he's making others feel bad about themselves and they're scared of him. Once Charlie is finally starting to understand his feelings that he's having, he realized that he's in love with Alice, also known as Miss Kinnian. And Miss Kinnian tells him that, she's the only girl that he's ever known, and he doesn't know how he really feels. And later on, she tells Charlie that he is too intelligent for her and makes her feel bad about herself, causing them to, in a way, almost like break up, but even though they were never dating. There is also a mouse named Algernon who had to have this surgery, and he would run mazes and have to race Charlie until one day Charlie became smarter than Algernon. As time went on, they became really close friends. And then there was one day when everyone got to see Charlie and Algernon and see how intelligent they were starting to become. And Charlie was very upset with Dr. Strauss and Professor Niemer, and he let Algernon out of the cage, and they escaped. And later on, Charlie ended up getting an apartment for Algernon and him to live in. While in the apartments, Charlie met a woman named Faye that was his neighbor. He ended up becoming really close with this girl, and they started dating, and they would dance every night, and they would always get drunk, and Charlie became really close with this girl. Later on, when Charlie realized that Algernon wasn't doing very well, he wanted to go back to the laboratory to let everyone know what's going on with Algernon, and this made Faye really upset. And then they started to grow apart from each other, and Faye started to see other men. The professors were realizing that Algernon was starting to lose his intelligence and become a normal mouse again, until later Algernon had passed away. As time went on, Charlie started to notice that these sort of changes were happening in him, and he was starting to lose his intelligence. And this made him want to go and visit his parents because he wanted to remember them. Because of all the dreams and flashbacks that he had had from them, what had happened in his past. So first, Charlie went to go see his father at the barber shop to get a haircut. Charlie realized that his dad didn't remember him, and this made him really sad, and he ended up leaving without saying anything. to him about him being his son. Then he went to go visit his mother, and his mother still thought that he wasn't intelligent anymore still, and he was still the same little boy that he was 30 years ago. Later, his sister ended up showing up, and she was so thrilled to see him and wanted him to stay because now he was intelligent, and they talked about their past. When Charlie said he had to leave, his sister was very sad, and his mother still didn't want any part of him. As Charlie starts to lose more and more of his intelligence, he wants to be alone. But Alice insists that she wants to be with him because she loves him just as much as Charlie loves her. With Charlie's temper, they are not able to stay together because he wants to be alone. Then, Miss Warner and Dr. Strauss and Mr. Newmer, they all try to give money to pay for Charlie's apartment. Charlie doesn't like this, and he wants to end up paying for it himself, so he starts to go work at the bakery again, and realizing that didn't work out. So in the end, Charlie ends up going back to the Warner house.